Hello, my friends. Welcome to the Commander's Crypt. I've got an awesome video for you today. Today, I've got the top 10 most interesting cards of murders at Karlov Manor. Very interesting set. I like it. I like it a lot, actually. So, without further ado, we will get into the top 10 most interesting cards, in my opinion, from that set. Honorable mention, Anzrag the Quake Mole for Gruul and 2. He's a legendary creature mole god. Whenever Anzrag the Quake Mole becomes blocked, untap each creature you control. After this combat phase, there's an additional combat phase. And for 2 green, 2 red, and 3, Anzrag must be blocked each combat this turn if able. I find this card interesting. It's not my style. I wouldn't play it, but I like it. I find it very interesting. I'm going to be interested to see what people do with this card. Number 10, Feather Radiant Arbiter for 2 white and red. Angel Flying Lifelink. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell that targets only Feather Radiant Arbiter, you may choose any number of creatures that spell could target and pay 2 for each of those creatures. If you do, for each of those creatures, copy that spell. The copy targets that creature. 4/3 flyer for 3. That's pretty good right there alone. Flying and lifelink. I find this card very interesting. What you can do with this card is do some effect and pay 2 to continue to do that effect onto your other flyers or whatever. I like the Radiant mechanic. Go check out my video. I just did a video on Radiant Performer and Radiate. One of my favorite obscure mechanics. Number 9, Niv Mizit Guild Pack. He's Werberg, legendary creature, dragon avatar. Flying, hexproof from multicolored. Whenever Niv Mizit Guild Pack deals combat damage to a player, it deals X damage to any target. Target player draws X cards. And you gain 3 life, where X is the number of different color pairs among permanents you control that are exactly 2 colors. Very interesting. I've always liked Niv Mizzet. I don't know how I would build a deck around this guy as the commander, but of course, all of everything would have 2 different colors to it. But I find this commander very interesting. There's probably some shenanigans that can be done with it. Number 8, Aurelia's Vindicator, 2 white and 2, creature angel, flying lifelink, ward 2. A lot of ward 2s in this set. It has Disguise, which is a little bit better morph. For 3 colorless, you can put this face down as a 2/2. It has ward 2. And then for 1 white and 3 and X, you can flip it up. When the Vindicator's turn face up, exile up to X other target creatures from the battlefield and/or creature cards from the graveyards. When he leaves to play, return the exile cards to their owner's hands. I like this card because I've always liked the morph mechanic, the flipping and the surprising and all that kind of stuff. This could do a lot of work against token decks. So there you go. The next card I find interesting, Judith Carnage Connoisseur. I had her in my top 10 commanders from this set. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell, choose one. That spell gains Death Touch and Lifelink. Create a 2/2 red imp creature token with it. When this creature dies, it deals 2 damage to each opponent. A lot of shenanigans that can be done with this card. I like this card a lot. I plan on doing a video just on her and list some of the interesting cards she has interesting interactions with. Next card I find very interesting, Incinerator of the Guilty. He's got a good conversion rate, 2 red and 4. He's a 6/6 flying trampler. That's pretty good. Whenever he deals combat damage to a player, you may collect evidence X. When you do, Incinerator deals X damage to each creature and each planeswalker that player controls. To collect evidence X, exile cards with total mana cost X or greater from your graveyard. So I like this. He could be pretty devastating. You got a bunch of instants and sorceries in your graveyard. You just exile those and whammo, this guy kicks butt. I already like the conversion rate on him, and 6/6 for 6, and he's flying trample, and his special ability. I really really like that. I'm definitely going to get this guy, get some foils, and he's going in my dragon decks. Next is Kaa Spear's Justice. I like this card as well. She is the fourth on this the fifth on this list. For Orjov and 2, whenever one or more creatures you control and or creatures cards in your graveyard put in exile, you may choose a creature card from among them until end of turn. Target token you control becomes a copy of it, except as flying. +2, surveil 2, that exile a card from a graveyard. +1, create a 1/1 white and black spirit creature token with flying. -2, exile target creature you control. For each other player, exile up to one target creature that player controls. So, you +1 her and create a token, and then when you surveil and exile a card from your graveyard, or if you -2 her and exile target creature you control, you can make copies of that with the spirits that you already have out there, tokens you already have out there. I like this. I like this card. I've always liked Kaa. I've always liked her exile assassin abilities that she has. Next, we have number 4, Undergrowth Recon. 2 green and 1 enchantment at the beginning of your upkeep. Return target land card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. I like this card. I've always liked cards that take your lands from out of the graveyards. Next is number 3, Knowledge is Power. Kind of pricey. White, blue, and 3. Creature you control get XX, where X is the number of cards you've drawn this turn. So, blue draws lots of cards. It's getting to where white draws lots of cards as well. Think about this. With just a brainstorm, you draw 3 cards. So, with blue, you've got lots of card drawing abilities. You could really make your flying blue-white army really massive. This could kind of be like a Craterhoof Behemoth type of effect. So I find this card very interesting. I think it could be very strong in the proper deck. With blue and white, there's a good chance you're going to have a lot of small flyers, maybe a spirit deck. And not just that, this set has a lot of clues. So you crack those clues and be drawing cards with other spells. You're going to really be pumping up your army. So I think this card is very strong and could be a sleeper. Next, I've got Delny Streetwise Lookout is number 2. Creatures you control with 2 or less can be blocked by creatures with power 3 or greater. If an ability of a creature you control with power 2 or less triggers, that ability triggers an additional time. I find this very interesting. I think there's a lot of shenanigans that can be done with this card. And then my number 1 most interesting card in the set, Alquist Proft, Master Sleuth. Anytime you draw cards in this game, that's the strongest thing, one of the strongest thing that you can do. Got a good conversion rate for blue, white, and 1 colorless. He's a 3/3 with Vig. When he enters the battlefield, investigate. So you create a clue token. It's an artifact with 2, sack this artifact, draw a card. Then he has blue, blue, white, X, sack a clue. You draw X cards and gain X life. That's where it's at right there. Blue and white probably is the 2 colors that has the most clues in them. And, you know, if with a properly set up deck, you could be really, you just crack a clue. And now you've basically got a X draw spell. A brain geyser every turn. Very, very, very strong. And you gain X life. I think that's extremely strong. If you've got infinite mana capabilities, you crack a clue. And now you've got infinite life. So I've got this guy as number 1. I think he might be the strongest commander in this deck because of his ability. So there you go. I hope you liked my top 10 most interesting cards for Murders at Karlov Manor. You know, I have to be honest, at first I didn't think I would like this knockoff to the Clue game, but to be honest, I really do like it. after kind of seeing it. I always like what the guys at Wizards of the Coast usually do. So there you go. We're going to get on out of here. I hope you enjoyed my video. Please like, share, and subscribe. And anyone that gets on Patreon, we're going to have your name at the end of every video. This is the Commander's Crypt signing off from Tokyo, Japan. Are you looking for dice or playmats for your next Magic game? Check out my online store, thecryptneworleans.com. We also have electronics to make your life easier. Our prices are cheaper than Amazon, and you get a $10 gift for your purchase. Thecryptneworleans.com. It helps you, and it helps out the channel.